It's 6:30 Cameroon time. You're welcome to over 6:30 Prime News on My Media Prime, the Friday and the last edition for the week. Thanks for being a part of today's edition of Prime News on My Media Prime Television. Genda Belgian Blanche King is my name. Today's edition of the news begins with a sad news. According to news reaching our studio, a 15-year-old whose name we got as Sandra has lost her life following a suspected case of electrocution in the New Bell neighborhood, littoral region of Cameroon. Reports say she was playing with her friend and in the course she fell on the neighbor's locally made toilet with a zinc, where she instantly lost her life. Her friend was equally shocked, though not with the same intensity. Still on this sad note, a military convoy is reported to have stepped on an explosive in Kumbo yesterday, February 25, 2021. Unofficial reports say at least 2 soldiers died and several others were wounded as armed men believed to be separatists immediately opened a fire. Stay with My Media Prime for development of the story. And now the regional delegate for public health in the northwest region of the country, Dr. Kingsley Chair, has ordered for the compulsory testing of all pupils, students and teachers. He made this call yesterday, February 25, through a communique where he highlighted the rise in COVID-19 cases throughout the northwest region since February 22, 2021. So far in the northwest region, the city of Bamenda takes the lead with the highest number of infections, followed by Camer. On to something else. Some internally displaced kids who fled the 2 restive regions due to the ongoing socio-political crisis and moved to Kongsamba in the west region have received new birth certificates from local authorities, considering most of them have lost many important documents. Birth certificates inclusive. Details in the following reports compiled by Bokengo Kemia.
About 60 internally displaced children from the northwest region of Cameroon yesterday, February 25, 2021, received a grand gesture from the divisional officer of Mongo, Mr. Yves Bertrand Zana, who handed them their birth certificate, which had been consumed by fire due to the ongoing crisis in the region.
This crisis presents different preoccupied statistics on different levels. Mongo Division counts about 40,000 internally displaced persons in its 13 municipalities. We can then imagine the number of families who are internally displaced and have fled their homes in search of refuge and protection. These persons are faced with difficulties such as blending into the normal lifestyle, starting with the recuperation of a birth certificate, bearing in mind that the most vulnerable persons mostly affected in the crisis are the women and children.
This grand gesture was highly appreciated by parents and guardians of these internally displaced children.
In every occasion of ours, we have been begging him to come to our assistance. We cannot tell him, thank God, may that source never run dry in Jesus' name.
According to Plan International, a birth certificate gives a child easier access to a number of key social services such as education, healthcare services, justified inheritance, as well as an identity of their own.
Roadworks have commenced in Kongsamba after a while. An inspection team led by inspectors from the Ministry of Housing and Urban Development visited some roads under maintenance to evaluate the progress of work, taking note of possible challenges. Details in the following report. Following multiple roadworks launched in Kongsamba by Minister of Housing and Urban Development, an inspection team was on ground recently to evaluate the progress of work done so far. The inspection team, led by heads of town halls and inspectors from the Ministry of Housing and Urban Development, amongst others, visited various roads under maintenance. The mission gave way for the new service providers to open the contract for their team, which will immediately take up works on various construction sites in the city of Konsamba. According to some inhabitants, the rehabilitation of these roads will help the population who have been suffering to gain access in and out of neighborhoods for a while. If not dust during the dry season, it is mud during the rainy season.
At first we had difficulties. There was potholes. It was difficult for the bike to climb up there. We don't use the that and now that the road has adjusted, it's easy for a bike to go up. But the problem we have now is just dust. That leads to accidents. The bikes that run within this road is difficult. They run haphazardly. But away from that, it's accessible.
The present contractors are expected to deliver the projects as soon as possible to save the population from the stress encountered in previous years. Actors in vocational training in the southwest region of the country have been called upon to be ambassadors in their domains in a bid to boost the sector and reduce youth unemployment. The call was made recently by the representative of Southwest Governor Ndumbe Matthew Theophile while presiding over the launching of the second edition of Job Creation Conference in Boya. Clarice Ekowe reports.
One of the challenges facing many youths nowadays is their inability to uncover embedded skills and convert such talent into money due to low knowledge on entrepreneurship. This accounts for the increasing rate of youth unemployment and poverty, especially in the restive English-speaking regions of Cameroon, with social disorder a means for some to express their grievances. While measures are being taken by the Cameroon government to curb youth unemployment, vocational training institutions continue to play a vital role. Hence, this second edition of the Southwest Job Creation Conference dotted, preparing the next generation of entrepreneurs, organized in Boya by the Southwest Regional Delegation of Vocational Training, had as objective to expose youth to job creation strategies.
Poverty and unemployment breeds instability, and the issues that we're facing today is as a result of high youth unemployment. So programs like this are aimed at reducing the youth unemployment. So the way forward is that we plan to organize many of these things and so many of these programs so as to be able to fulfill the role of the ministry, because the role of the ministry actually is to take care of employment and training issues, and that's just what we're trying to do.
Presided at by Ndumbe Matthew Theophile, representative of the Southwest Governor, he reiterated the importance of entrepreneurship and the role of youth in nation building.
I'm really amazed with what I've seen, the creativity of the youth, and their readiness to help our country as we strive for emergence come 2035. Life in itself is not easy. Whatever you see, use it positively to help yourself, help the community.
An opportunity which some conscious youths say they have been exploiting.
Every young person across the country, that you being young is not a disadvantage. And there is something that you can do, you can contribute, you can dare to believe in yourself, you can dare to have a dream and a vision, and you need to step out, stop complaining, stop explaining, and start actioning your dream.
The seminar, which brought together over 200 young entrepreneurs drawn from the Southwest region, was also a platform for the young entrepreneurs to inspire their peers through entrepreneurial works that were exhibited to the public.
Some 330 freshmen have officially been admitted into the St. Louis University Institute here in Bonaberi, Douala. During the matriculation ceremony, the CEO enjoined the newly admitted to uphold the values required for skills acquisition. Darling Gonde was there and now reports.
These are the over 330 freshmen who have been officially matriculated for studies into the St. Louis University Institute here in Douala. Pledging to abide by the rules and regulations governing the school, evenly distributed into the various professional courses offered by the institution, including nursing, midwifery, agriculture, medical laboratory sciences, pharmacy technology, and just to name but these. The CEO, Dr. Nick Wanyam, now talks on the values to be inculcated by the new students on this day.
They are first-year students, Okay. And then we brought them in to actually welcome. This is an official welcome to this new year student, to these new students into this environment. And we want to tell them what values we stand by and show them the best way to grow.
Still during the matriculation ceremony, which proceeded with a holy mass, the students were also given the platform to showcase their know-how on field work, most peculiar those of the agricultural background, who instantly demonstrated the construction of a locally made aquarium. And to this student, here is why St. Louis is a place to be.
On behalf of the agricultural department, as you can see, we are just few of us because some others are illiterate about agriculture. But we're here to talk about the benefit of agriculture in our Cameroon economy. Agriculture is a key factor. It's a backbone of Cameroon economy. As you can see, that is why we step in to add more courage of our ladies out there who does not know the importance of agriculture to step forward to study agriculture because it helps in future.
On their part, this day symbolizes an official recognition as students of this prestigious university institute.
The school officially welcomes us as new students, and they are going to bring us on the right path.
I feel very excited because it has really been quite for a long time. Since I've been in this school, I've not been matriculated. But now that we're like matriculating, and it shows that no, that really approved of us, that they really want to take us in and teach us.
And as a man whose dream is to impact the world with knowledge, the CEO and father of the school, Dr. Nick, also stretched forth his hand of solidarity with the distribution of this knowledge-filled book to all the students present. In making the ceremony more colorful, students were given the opportunity to showcase their various skills and talents through cultural display, singing, and drama.
Thanks, Dolingonde. In church news, the overseer of Champion International House of Prayer, Mulong Bamenda, Prophet N.N. Waters, has urged Christians and believers to intensify 40 days of fasting and prayers to God for a sit-down and agreement between separatists and the government, so we can also Cameroon can enjoy peace and we can find a lasting solution to the ongoing socio-political crisis in the two English-speaking regions of the country. Let's now listen to Charles Kebois in the report that follows.
11 days already into fasting, with 30 days more to fast, Christians of the Champions International House of Prayer, Mulong Bamenda, began 40 days fasting and prayers for agreement to manifest for the government of Cameroon and supporters of Ambazonian fighters to sit and dialogue end the crisis in the two Anglophone regions and Cameroon.
We should call them by their name and pray that there should be an agreement between Ambazonia and the government, because the devil is the one who is profiting over this whole issue at the expense of God's children in the nation who are dying every day of stray bullet.
Champions International House of Prayer overseer Prophet N.N. Waters talking on current issues, which are issues expected of them servants of God, praying over the nation while receiving his second award since he began his ministry.
I am very surprised because the last award I received was in 2015, before this crisis started, from the Drum Press Award as the most inspirational preacher of the Northwest region. And I've been keeping that award, so throughout the crisis, I've never known again that they were still organizing this award. You know, it was a surprise to me, it took me all by surprise. But what I saw, and I was not surprised, that when I saw what was written on the award, it was speaking who we are and what we are doing.
Champion International Ministry, not just preachers to preach the gospel from the word, but preaching from the spiritual standpoint, dealing with current issues, which are issues the prophet prophesied this year.
God has revealed to me, by the grace of God, that there have to be agreement between the government of Cameroon and the supporters of Amazonia this year. They have to agree, and so that this crisis will stop.
Testimonies on tremendous role played through prayers, spiritual sensitivity, and standing the gap of the nation in this period of crisis and COVID-19. The prophet N.N. Walters urged Christians and believers to pray and fast ceaselessly.
You're watching for 6:30 Prime News on My Media. Prime Minister of Territorial Administration, Paul Atanganji, has through a letter addressed the regional governors, asking them to recognize only the executives of the Cameroon Football Federation, an executive rejected last January by the Court of Arbitration for Sports led by Seido Bombo Njoya. He addressed the regional governors on Thursday or on Wednesday, February 24, 2021. Details in the French language with Etape Content.
En raison de la position de la FIFA au sujet de la gestion de la Fcfa, le ministre Paul Atanganji, dans une correspondance portant la mention urgent signée hier mercredi, demande au gouverneur de région de savoir que l'unique responsable ayant la légitimité de parler au nom de la Fédération camerounaise de football n'est autre que Seydou Njoya. Ce courrier du patron du MINAT intervient quelques heures après celui du ministre des Sports et de l'Éducation physique à l'adresse du président de la Fcfa. Se basant sur les 13 autres instructions contenues dans la lettre numéro 999/CFI-SGPR du 23 février 2021, Nassis Mouele Kombi instruit Mbombo Njoya de prendre attache avec la direction des affaires générales du MINSEP en vue de finaliser la mise à disposition des différents stades concernés pour le démarrage immédiat des élites Tour et One. Ainsi, selon le MINAT et le MINSEP, ces championnats vont se dérouler conformément au chronogramme rendu public par M. Seydou Bombo Njoya et son équipe. En rappel, cette décision fait suite aux recommandations du chef de l'État lors de son discours adressé à la jeunesse le 10 février passé.
C'est le lieu pour moi d'inviter les instances fêtières du football camerounais à se ressaisir et à ramener la sérénité dans leur organisation. Ce n'est qu'ainsi qu'il nous sera possible de créer les meilleures conditions de l'épanouissement constant de notre football.
Toutefois, si Albert Mbinda et son équipe sont déclarés persona non grata à la Fcfa, la LFPC estime que cette mesure arrive alors qu'elle n'a pas encore donné son dernier mot.
The Under-20 Lions of Cameroon will now move to the next level of the ongoing African Under-20 Cup of Nations with a 1-1 score extra time against Ghana. The game headed into a shootout where Ghana won 4-2. Ghana will move to the semi-finals of the game. Cameroon finished top of Group A after wins against Uganda, Mauritania and Mozambique. Let's join it up a content still in the French language.
C'est un rêve brisé. Le Cameroun éliminé par le Ghana au tir au but, 4-2 au stade olympique. Les premières et deuxièmes périodes étaient difficiles pour les Lionceaux du Cameroun et les Blacks satellites du Ghana. À la 83e minute, l'attaquant ghanéen Percius Subwa tente sa chance par un coup franc que le portier camerounais transformera en corner. Il a fallu attendre les prolongations à la 103e minute pour voir les Lionceaux ouvrir le score par Kevin Prince Mila de la tête sur un corner bien appliqué par Etienne Eto'o. Les deux entrés en cours du jeu. Mais la joie ne va pas durer pour longtemps. Le Ghana va égaliser le score par Franck Boatine presque à la fin de la deuxième partie des prolongations. Le buteur ghanéen réussit à enfoncer le ballon au fond des filets du Cameroun à la récupération d'une tête décroisée de son coéquipier. Le score resta inchangé jusqu'à la fin du match puisqu'il fallait un vainqueur dans ce quart de finale de la 22e édition de la CAN U20. L'arbitre appelle les acteurs au tir au but. Dans cet exercice, les Camerounais marquent 2 tirs sur 5 tandis que les Blacks satellites du Ghana 4 tirs sur 5, ce qui fait un score de 4-2. Ainsi, le Cameroun rentre avec 9 points. Le Ghana, promu pour les demi-finales. L'Ouganda aussi, en battant par penalty. Hier, le Burkina Faso, 5-3 au stade olympique de Nouakchott. Au programme ce soir, Maroc contre Tunisie et la RCA contre la Gambie.
With that sports report, we end today's edition of Prime News on My Media Prime. Thanks for being with us all through the week. See you on Monday at 6:30 Cameroon time for another edition of Prime News on My Media Prime. Ewane Eli Nolinga, produced and news coordinated by Faith Tata Berenyu. My name is Genda Peojin Blanche King. Stay tuned to My Media Prime at 7 p.m. Cameroon time. Prime Hour will be live with Kim Leonard. Enjoy today's fresh edition of the show. Good night and happy weekend.